This is Dream Power Radio, the place where your dreams turn into reality. Here is your host, Debbie Spector-Weissman.
Hello, and welcome to the Dream Power Show on the amazing Women and Men of Power Network, the world's leading positive programming network, powered by Raven International. I'm your host, Debbie Spector-Weissman, the Dream Coach. This is the show where we talk about dreams, both daytime and nighttime dreams, and how you can use them to create the life you love. And as a reminder, I'm here to help you understand your dreams. So if you have a dream that's got you stumped, email me at debbie@dreampowerradio.com. I can help you interpret your dream or answer any general questions you may have about dreams. So again, you can email me at debbie@dreampowerradio.com. What I love about working with dreams is that for me, it's a quick way to discover things about ourselves that we may be hiding without realizing it. But that discovery is only step one. As a dream life coach, I can help you understand how this information ties into your everyday life. Yet, there are times we have to go deeper to really discover the source of what makes us tick. And I found that one of the most successful methods of doing this is hypnosis. Strangely, a lot of people shy away from hypnosis because they have a lot of misconceptions about it, especially when it comes to using hypnosis to gain access to our past lives. To help us understand how hypnosis, and in particular past lives regression, can benefit us, I'm happy to welcome my guest today, Bryn Blankinship. Bryn is a certified master hypnotherapist, instructor, and director of her own hypnotherapy center. And she's the author of a new book, The Limitless Soul, Hypnoregression Case Studies into Past, Present, and Future Lives. Welcome to the Dream Power Show, Bryn.
Thank you for having me on.
Bryn, I've seen from my own experience how hypnosis can be an effective tool for making changes in our lives. For those who don't really understand how hypnosis works or what its benefits are, can you give us a brief rundown of what hypnosis is and why it's effective?
Sure. So hypnosis is a great way to get into the deeper part of ourselves. What it's doing is taking us out of the conscious mind and into our deeper wisdom, that innate wisdom that's in each of us. And it's a way to see things from another perspective and clear them, change them, move forward using what you learn in the session.
Mm-hmm. And how is this effective in being able to uncover things for the person?
So at a conscious level, sometimes you don't recognize where an issue started or where a pattern began. And under hypnosis, you can go back to where that started. And that doesn't mean just current life. With this style of hypnosis, you can go into a past life or into the between and find out more about patterns that are carried forward, relationship issues, other things that you might not know consciously, but at a deeper soul level, you're aware of, because your soul is aware of all of your incarnations. So it's a way to go through your soul's history and identify issues, resolve conflicts. You can bring forward gifts, talents, abilities. You can release things that may be holding you back in your current life.
Well, speaking of soul, the focus of your new book is on our soul and how we can access it through past life regressions to gain insights and resolutions to these long-standing issues. How do you define the soul, and how does accessing it help us?
So the soul is that part of us that stays behind when we incarnate. And we're in touch with that at a deeper level. The soul doesn't leave us, but a part of the soul comes here to this planet to inhabit these bodies and have these experiences. So my definition of the soul is that all-knowing wisdom that's within us, that it's always there, and it's always connected, and it knows what we need to know when we need to know it.
How did you get interested in working with the soul in this aspect of hypnosis?
Well, I've always had an interest in reincarnation. Even when I was young, I would go to church with my family, and we would come out, and standing there with the preacher, he would look down at me, and I was about 4 years old, and during the service, I had been all ears. I was just listening and taking it all in. So he would ask me, "Hello, what did you think about the sermon today?" And I would ask him, "Well, if we have life everlasting, where do we come from?" Well, my mother looked like she just wanted to crawl under the church steps. And I would hear the preacher stumble because he couldn't answer that question. And, I've just over time had interest in reincarnation. And then as an adult, I found out there was this thing that was called past life regression. And I was really excited to study it.
And you have actually developed a technique, a different kind of past life regression technique called soul. The full name of it is Soul Expression Spiritual Regression, or what you call SESR. What is this, and how does this work?
So there are times where a past life session just isn't enough. It's not enough to get to some of the deeper mysteries that we have regarding our soul, deeper questions that we have. So with SESR, it's a current life assessment. It's a way to go in along the soul's history into the spirit world, into the cosmic realms, and connect with the soul, ask questions, find out more about why we're here, and find out about our unique qualities, our attributes. And it's a magnification of one's soul in their physical body. In doing this, it's not just about connecting, it's about bringing in that soul energy into the physical body so that you're more connected, you're a magnification of that soul's energy, and it helps you to align with your soul's purpose so that you're finding and following your soul's purpose as you're making choices and moving forward in your life.
Well, I've undertaken a past life regression session in my own life. How is your system different from other kinds of past life regression techniques?
So there are a couple of different ways that you can experience a past life session. And with the SESR, you may or may not go through a past life to get to the end of the past life, to the death scene, and go into the spirit world. That's one way to access the spirit world. But with SESR, you're able to move more quickly into the spirit world and then have a view of all of your lifetimes. In soul reflection, you can review past lives. In the soul awareness area, you have an awareness of all of your abilities, all of your lives, all of your qualities of a soul as a soul, and what you've brought in for your current incarnation. So it's like a current life review that is taking place now instead of waiting until the end of this current life where you die, you go into the cosmic realms, you meet with your guides and review the life. So midway through this current life, you can have this assessment, and it's a way to take advantage of that wisdom and apply it to your life moving forward to be clearer in your choices, be more connected in your life, and know that help is available. Because we're not alone here.
This is true. Is this the soul that goes with us? Is this one soul that we have through all these lives, or does the soul itself change along the way?
It's the same soul. Our soul learns through various incarnations, or I prefer to say experiences, by living through these different incarnations, whether on Earth or other planets. And through those experiences, it shifts the soul and helps it to evolve, but it's the same soul. And it's learning through various experiences. So a soul could learn about love by having love in their life for a lifetime. They could learn about love by losing love in a lifetime. They could learn about love by hurting someone else that they love. You know, by playing all sides and all roles of a love relationship, the soul learns and experiences and then shifts and evolves.
How long of a session is this?
The sessions tend to be about 4 hours. So there's an intake process and then a deepening that takes place to take a person through their current life, along their soul's history, and into the cosmic realms. Then once into the cosmic realms, we explore questions that the clients may have. We interact with their guides. So it's not only with their soul, their guides are there, their soul advisory council are there. The soul advisory council help with pre-birth planning. So they're the ones that help us before we get here with our bigger picture. And then our guides tend to work with the details. They help us on the ground while we're here.
Okay, let me go back a second. So who is the Soul Advisory Council? I mean, what entities or spirits, who is this?
So this is a group of wise beings that are assigned to us for each of our lifetimes. Now, the members of the council may change here and there, depending on which life you're moving through, which lessons you're working with, because they'll bring in members that help us with certain things. And they're the ones that help us with pre-birth planning. And we help with that as well. We're part of that process. So we're choosing to come in and live the life that we're going to live. We're choosing the parents, the family, the relationships that we're going to have, but it's with their guidance that this takes place.
I see.
And once we're here, they're still available to us. It's just that they tend to step back and give guidance from a distance more so. And the spiritual guide that you have assigned to you, you have your primary, and then you have a couple of others that help with things as well. They help with more detail work. So for an example, I would have a guide that helps me to do the Sessor sessions. I have a guide that helps me with that work specifically and helped me to develop it.
Do you have the same guides help you in different aspects of your being, or is it different guides for different reasons?
It depends. It depends on what you're working on. So I used to be an actress years ago, and I had a guide that helped me with that. But when I moved into the hypnosis and the regression work, I had a changeover of guides, so to speak, and someone new came along that helped me with that. Now, sometimes guides will stay with you and just be the primary, and other times a guide will step back and allow for a new one to come in because of the focus that's needed for that specialty work.
Okay, let's say someone comes to you with a situation that they're dealing with, and they have a Sessor session. Can they gain access to their soul and to these guides in one session, or does this happen over a number of sessions?
Well, generally, it takes 2 sessions. So what we do is we do a past life session, and I actually prefer to call it an all lives session because I feel like past life is a little limiting, but it's a way to access your past lives and your lives that are relevant to what's happening at that time. And it's an opening up process. So you would do that type of a session first. It's 2 hours. And then that's preparation for the deeper session where you would go in to the soul level of the mind and spend more of the session time in that place. In the soul level of the mind, or in the spirit world, in that arena, so to speak, you can find out all the mysteries of the soul because they're uncovered. They're available to the client to know more about themselves. And what we're doing is helping them to improve the relationship with themselves while they're here on this planet. For confidence, for strength.
I see. We're going to get into all of this in a bit more detail, but we're going to take a short break now. We are talking with master hypnotherapist Bryn Blankinship about our soul and about how we can access it through past life regression. We'll be right back. When is a car not a car? When it shows up in your dreams. Cars are one of the most common dream symbols. If you don't know why you're dreaming about cars or any image, it can leave you confused or scared. But that dream could be a solution to a pressing problem, or an insight into a solution that's been bugging you for years. Go to my website and sign up for a complimentary discovery session, and I'll help you understand why a dream is a terrible thing to waste. Go to thedreamcoach.net for more information.
Welcome back to Dream Power Radio with your host, Debbie Spector-Weissman.
Yes, welcome back to the Dream Power Show. I'm your host, Debbie Spector-Weissman, and we're talking about accessing our soul with master hypnotherapist Bryn Blankinship. Bryn, in your book, you detail case studies of people who've benefited from understanding their soul's journey. Can you give us a couple of examples of how this works and what happened?
Clients have come in over the years, and I studied with Michael Newton. I studied with Roger Wolger, studied with Brian Weiss, and I worked with those techniques. I was on a study track with Roger Wolger and actually switched over to Michael Newton, worked closely with him, helped work with the Newton Institute. So I worked with the Life Between Lives format. And my clients, almost from the beginning, kept popping into this other place. But I tried to stick with the format because that's what I've been taught. And they would still pop over to this place. So what I began to discover is there was a way to get them there a little quicker. And this happened over thousands of session hours that the Sessor session was actually created. And clients come in for all kinds of things. They come in to learn about their soul's purpose, find direction, get over fears, understand fears and worries that seem to be coming from nowhere. And through that, I've had clients give me incredible detail about why they're here, what they're coming to do, and how that pre-planning of our soul's experience here on earth works. So one of the clients in the book that she just gave such an eloquent description of this is Claire. Claire speaks about how in pre-birth planning, she worked with the Soul Advisory Council and her spiritual team to bring in what she would need into her suit, which is an invisible suit, which she referred to as her birthday suit. So in this suit that's with us when we're born is everything that we're going to need along the way. And we have access to that when we're in the womb. We have access to that just prior to incarnating. And during our lifetimes, these attributes will be made available as needed. So if you are a person that is seeking direction and you are musically inclined, and all of a sudden you write a song or you play some music, you don't know where that came from. It could be that you brought that in with your birthday suit because it just flowed through you because you had a nice connection where you're basically channeling your soul to gather that information and put it into a tangible form. It doesn't have to be music. It doesn't have to be artistic. It can be other things that we develop too, like chairs. The idea of a chair came from some person. They developed a chair, and then someone else decided to make a specific kind of chair. Well, those ideas were sewn into their birthday suit before they got here, and then all the people that were going to help them to make that chair and get it out there, or write that jingle and get it out there, or even like the internet. Someone designed that, brought it in, and then it was implemented here on earth along with all the other helper souls that were going to come forward to make that happen at the right moment in time. So we don't do it alone. We plan these things out with others who are here to help us. So that chapter is It's called The Gifts That You Bring With You, but it's really about the birthday suit and what that means. And there's everything that you need in that birthday suit. Now, there's another story that I like to talk about the monk. There was a client that came in who he was seeking information about his life. He mentioned that he noticed patterns to things, and he owns a chain of pubs where he makes heavenly brews, and he enjoys the yeasty smell of fresh bread. So he mentioned this and how these patterns can take him back, and he has memories of past lives. But he wanted to explore that on a deeper level and find out some other things about his life. So in the session, he went back to a lifetime where he was a monk. And he had lost his family as a teenager. His younger brother had been killed. And his mother died from the grief of that when the plague came through, and she had no strength left because she was grieving the loss of her son. And his father died from the plague as well. So he decided to join the monastery. He actually had an attraction to the monastery, and this was his time to go do that. So at the monastery, he was pretty angry at the way that his younger brother had died, because that had started the chain of events that killed his family. He would sit under a tree and contemplate his anger, because now he was becoming a monk and he needed to work that out. So being angry at God was not going to serve him in his new role as a monk. So he would sit under this tree and contemplate and ponder and ruminate and work it out. And then over time, that tree became a source of connection and peace. So whenever he could get over to that tree, he would do so. So in current life, this client has connections to the earth. He has connection to trees, saving the trees. He also, his chain of pubs is named after a monk that, we didn't have this information back when he named his pubs, and his heavenly brews are named after the different monks as well. So there's that connection that was in him all along, but we uncovered more about it as we had the session. Another thing that he was seeking is how he could help his family without going to an organized religion, such as a formalized church. He's spiritual. He believes in spirituality and in God and the higher nature of things. He just didn't want to be constricted that way. Well, through this pub, he's in contact with the community. He serves the community, and people come and they share their troubles, and they feel lifted up and lightened when they leave. So in the spirit world, in the Cesar arena of soul awareness, he was able to understand more deeply these energy balls that he sends out to people to lift them up. And he goes into great detail describing these little snowballs of energy that he's able to send out to the people he's speaking with. It helps lighten their load. It helps them to feel better, to just feel comforted. And when they leave, they feel better than they did before they came in. So those are a couple of sessions out of the book, and that's why this is such an amazing field, because no two sessions are the same.
Well, no two people are the same, and no two people's past lives are the same. As you're talking,
Exactly.
Thinking about, my work with dreams, and that, in dreams, we, access our subconscious and get information that we actually physically block ourselves from getting during our waking lives. I'm wondering if you think that there's a connection between dream work and spirits that come to us and past lives and things like that.
Yes. So dreams are another way that you can connect, because you're in that deeper state. But often with dreams, we're not consciously aware of the questions that we're asking. We're connecting, but it's not the same as the Cesar session, because you're able to come into the Cesar session with a list of questions that we can address with your guide, with your soul level of the mind. We identify your immortal name and let the soul speak through you to to answer those questions. Now, in dreams, you're still connecting.
Yeah.
Sometimes we don't remember it when we wake up.
So, is there a typical kind of person who will access your techniques, who is more receptive to it or can benefit from it, as opposed to any other kind of person?
Yes. So clients that are more spiritually oriented, that are open to the experience, are the best candidates for this work. I can't make them be open. I can't make them do something that they don't want to do. But coming in with an open mind allows them to go into that deeper state and to access this information about themselves. And that's why we do the 2 sessions. The first session is to begin the process, and it's done in a certain kind of way to prepare them for the successor session, which is a deeper session. And the best candidates for this work are creative thinkers, musicians, artists, open-minded folks. The worst candidates, maybe worst is not the best way to say it, but the candidates that have a little more difficulty are the very analytical clients. Because when the information is flowing through and you hear yourself speaking to me, telling me these things, the analytical mind sometimes wants to come in and shut it down or question it, instead of just letting it flow and then figuring it out as we go along.
Mm-hmm. And I suppose someone who doesn't believe in reincarnation would not be a good candidate either.
Well, there have been 1 or 2 that have come in and tested it and been surprised when they found out about reincarnation and finding out that they had been here before. I can recall one person that was shocked and actually shut down the session because they didn't expect that they had been here before. And when they did, it scared them, and they said, "This is enough." They got it quite a ways into the session. They met with their guides. The guides started speaking to them, and it was a little scary. For most, that's exciting. Most people, that's the goal, is to meet with the guide and talk to them and have a better relationship with their spiritual team.
Mm-hmm.
You know, our role is to work with their team. They helped us get here. They helped us with the pre-planning. They help us with the aspects of coming here and the timing of all of that, and who we're going to be born to, and what time period in history we're going to be born, and what will happen as a result of our having been here. So once we're here, having a connection is a way to achieve those goals that we've set for ourselves more smoothly. It doesn't mean that you don't have obstacles. It just means that you get through them knowing that you're not alone and that you're loved. And sometimes I'll refer to this as the away team, like on Star Trek, because it's like they're up there on the ship and they send the scouts down on the ground to check things out. And then we're down here and we're saying, "We need help. I need supplies. I need this. I need help." And they're up there able to send us what we need or point us in the right direction. And also distractions. So distractions can get in the way and we're not hearing clearly. We're missing information that's coming. So doing these sessions helps to bring clarity and then to open up to that guidance, so we begin to recognize what is guidance and what is mind chatter, when to go this direction and when to go the other direction. Along with my book, I also include soul-minded exercises along with each chapter that can help the reader to open up to the soul awareness within themselves, because sometimes they can't get in for a session, or they're planning to have a session down the road, and this is a way to start opening up in ways that they can do at home and on their own.
Mm-hmm. Well, Bryn, I think we have just skimmed the surface of what you do, and we're just about to run out of time. So my final question is, how can people find out more about you?
They can go to my website, www.brynblankinship.com, BrynBlankinship.com. And I'm in Wilmington, North Carolina, on the East Coast of the United States. And the book, The Limitless Soul, is available through Llewellyn Publishing, and it's on Amazon. It's also on Barnes & Nobles. It's available. And so far, it's been listed as Amazon's #1 hot new release. So I'm very excited about that as well.
Well, congratulations on the success of the book, and congratulations on what you do. I think it's a wonderful service for anyone who's open to it. We've been speaking with Master Hypnotherapist Bryn Blankinship about past life regression and about our soul on the Dream Power Show today. I hope you've enjoyed the program. Until next time, this is Debbie Spector-Weissman saying, sweet dreams, everybody.
You've been listening to Dream Power Radio with your host, Debbie Spector-Weissman. For more information on Debbie or to sign up for her newsletter, go to dreampowerradio.com. This has been Dream Power Radio on the amazing Women and Men of Power Network, the world's leading positive programming network, powered by Raven International.